Hello, I am Woohyun from Woohyun to share. Today we will be learning about the market structures. The lecture will be proceeded in this order. This is a simple reminder for better comprehension of the market structures, and I recommend you to watch WTS video about production cost if you're not fully knowing about these contents. Profit maximization is unchanging always when marginal revenue equals to marginal cost. This is the most important. And you also know how to draw MC, AFC, ABC, ATC, and other curves like this in basic form. Right. Then let's start. The behaviors of firms are different according to market structures, which are shape and attributes of market types. We'll be learning about main four, which are perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly. Perfectly competitive market is where numerous firms are infinitely competing with each other, like the name suggests. So there are three characteristics that there are multiple firms, they produce same products, and free entry and exit is possible. It means there is no barrier to come into a market. Even if a firm is a little more expensive than another, customers' preference would greatly decrease because there are so many substitutes. Thus, firms have to accept common price that are naturally set, and this is why we call the firms price takers. They have to take price naturally determined by the market logic. From now on, we have to draw these two graphs. The familiar graph is demand and supply about overall market, and second one is for individual firm. Once equilibrium price is set at the intersection of D and S, then the price is also the price that firm pays. Therefore, the price is horizontal, and this is the same as demand that firm encounters. Firm equals to demand, and it is horizontal. Cost to produce one more unit is same as one price, so price equals to demand and marginal revenue, and this is same as average revenue in perfectly competitive market. These were crucial characteristics, and profit can be calculated by quantities multiplied by price minus ATC. It means quantity multiplied by price minus ATC this month. So this blue shaded part indicates the profit. This is same in all structures because profit equals to price multiplied by quantity minus total cost. And if we bind this with Q, then we gain this formula, and total cost divided by quantity is same as average total cost. So that is the reason why profit is calculated like this. If price is smaller than ATC, then it will face loss because this is negative, and in other case, it will get profit because this is positive. The firm has to keep operating even in loss since there are secret of lower adjustments, even P is smaller than ATC. However, if price is lower or same as AVC, then it should shut down, means stop operating, because it cannot earn even money invested for fixed cost. So this was important. And MC curve greater than ABC, this part is same as short-run supply curve. We should know one more thing, that competitive market earn zero profit in long run. There are two scenarios for long run adjustments in competitive market. So the first one is if the firm is currently earning profit. Let's draw the graph. The firm is currently earning a profit about this traded amount. This is because demand has increased, right? This is original equilibrium, demand, supply, and let's assume that demand just rose. So the price also increased. Then it means the firm is now lucrative, right? So many firms will try to enter the market. Then what happens? Supply also increases. Then though the demand has increased, because supply has also increased, then equilibrium comes back to similar price as before. So like it goes back to original quantity, and the result is price intersects with minimum ATC and therefore zero profit. And the second case is when the firm is experiencing a loss. Let's assume this is because the demand has suddenly decreased. So D as equilibrium and demand has decreased. Then this is the normal situation, but the price has decreased. So like it is gaining loss of this amount. Then it means the industry is not lucrative enough. Therefore, many firms will exit the market. The word enter and exit is very important to explain. So many firms will exit the market, then supply will also decrease. Then the equilibrium quantity changed, but the price is similar to the before. Therefore, price goes high again, and it returns to the equilibrium. Therefore, again, PATC, therefore, zero profit. This was how the profit and loss is certainly returned to zero profit in the long run. Therefore, reminder, profit is zero in the long run, and price has to intersect with minimum ATC to fulfill productive efficiency because of economies of scale. And to sum up, P equals to MC and P equals to minimum ATC. The productive competition both achieves allocative efficiency and productive efficiency. This is the only market structure that achieves both efficiency. And there is no economic profit, zero, but it does not mean that company earns $0, but Considering all opportunity cost, it is not making profits. Next one is monopoly, where only one firm exists. There are no substitutes and there is high barrier to entry. And because they can set the price by themselves, so the monopoly firm is called price maker. They can make price as much as they want. And monopoly market demand equal to price is downward sloping and marginal revenue is also downward sloping and it is twice tilt of demand. You have to distinguish 2 points, which is profit maximizing point is where MR equals to MC. This is where profit is maximized and socially optimum point is where D or price is equal to marginal cost. This point is socially optimum. Then like we paste this gap, right? So this gap is called deadweight loss, a social risk because it is an inefficient condition. Also, the profit can be calculated by same way as the competitive market. Therefore, there's the bullish shaded quantity multiplied by P minus ATC. It means that monopoly firms intentionally reduced quantity and increase their price to maximize their profits. You should not be confused. This is equilibrium and the real price is this is profit maximizing point and real price is determined at this. Therefore, this one is real price of monopoly firm. This is profit maximizing quantity and this one is socially optimum quantity. So they reduce quantity and increase price to maximize profit regardless of how consumers respond. And even in the long term, the situation is similar to the short term. So P does not equal to the minimum ATC, therefore does not for productive efficiency, as well as P does not equal to marginal cost, so it does not achieve allocative efficiency. So it is both inefficient. However, there are some cases of natural monopoly, which is the naturally there remains only one producer because of economies of scale, because of efficiency of this. The government can regulate this in 2 ways. First one is making price same as marginal cost, and this point, like moving this from this point. So this is called as marginal cost pricing, and therefore it is socially optimum. And therefore this is to achieve allocative efficiency. And second one is average cost pricing, just moving this point to where demand intersects with ATC. This is also known as fair return pricing, and this is to achieve productive efficiency. So these were two main regulation types. Then thirdly, let's move to monopolistic competition, and it is composed of many independent firms. They sell differentiated but similar products, so they make similar difference according to their each consumer's age, like customers group, and free entry and access as possible. And firms are price maker. These are characteristics of competitive market, right? So this is anyway competition, monopolistic, but the more important term is it is competition. Therefore, free entry and exit is possible. They are price makers. When drawing a graph, D and M are as same as monopoly market. In the long equilibrium of monopolistic competition, economic profit is also zero because in the long run, D intersects with ATC. However, it does not intersect with the minimum ATC, therefore it fails to achieve productive efficiency. So minimum ATC is important. It should be minimum, not just intersecting with ATC. Also, there is still gap between social optimum and profit maximization point. This one and this one. So there still remains that weight loss. Therefore, it also does not fulfill allocative efficiency. Therefore, this market structure is also both inefficient. We also have to know the term excess capacity, and it refers to the amount which is Y's term minus Y marginal cost. This amount is excess capacity. Great. Then last one is oligopoly. A few firms have strong influence on each other and it has a high barrier. The example are market composed of two or three and very few in companies such as airlines, supermarkets, and therefore strategic behavior is required in this market. This one is very important. Firms have to analyze and predict counterparts' behaviors to maximize their profit, right? So the field of economics dealing with such a strategic action is called game theory, analyzing the result of strategic behaviors. We usually analyze it by drawing a payoff matrix, table showing profit and loss of each firms. In the table, at the ordered pair of A, B, the former one is profit of firm X and latter one is profit of firm Y according to their selection. For example, if firm X selects high and if firm Y selects low, then firm X is earning $0 and firm Y is earning $45. Then we have to know the key concepts in the priority. First one, dominant stretch is the stretch better than another regardless of counterpart selection, always advantageous for a firm. Anyway, which selection other counterparts make. And second, Nash equilibrium as optimal choice for both two, not recognizing further necessity to change their choice. Very optimal condition. Then let me tell you a tip to solve payoff matrix related to catches in MCQ and FRQ of AP. I will express firm X decision with circles, every decision with circles, and firm Y with triangles. Then let's divide into two cases that firm X chooses high or firm X chooses low. If firm X chooses high, then firm Y can choose high or low, right? And because 45 of low is better than 20, Y will choose low. Therefore, triangle at 45. Second, if firm X chooses low, then firm X will choose low of these two because 10 is greater than 0. 10 is greater than 0, right? So Y is choose low, both in both cases that firm X choose high and low. In other terms, Y chooses low regardless of X selection, therefore low option as dominant strategy for Y. And we can notice that there are arrangements of triangles like a bingo, right? So you can easily find them in the strategy by expressing them by easy shapes. Then let's next affirm Y. Then this is kind of affirm Y. First, affirm Y chooses high, then firm X has to choose one of 20 or 45, and 45 is better, right? So circle on 45. Next, if firm Y chooses low, then firm has to choose between these two, and because 10 is greater than 0, it'll choose 10. Then we can also say that this is a bingo of circles, right? So the low for X is also X dominant stretch that is irrelevant with selection of Y. Whether Y selects high or low, X will select low because this is more beneficial to X. Then we have to find where the circle and triangle coexist. This is low and low, right? So this point is Nash equilibrium for those two. Hence, in the Nash equilibrium, X will choose low and Y will choose low. This is a tip to solve payoff matrix-related questions. Prisoner's dilemma refers to a situation when both firms fail to make a rational decision while seeking for only one's profit maximization. Economics nature does not allow firms to produce at both high and high because there is competitions. This is unable. However, firms sometimes secretly cooperate for make both of them to sell at expensive price. This is called collusion. They secretly make an agreement to avoid competition, and therefore consumers has more price burdens. However, it can be prohibited by antitrust law, and it is illegal in most of the nations. There are some cases of cartel, which is official form of coalition. For example, OPEC consisted of nations who export oils are implementing cartel to secure their profits in oil market. We're going to almost end. There are price discrimination in monopoly or monopolistic competition or oligopoly, which is setting different prices for each customer to maximize their firm's profits according to age, group, or like 1+1 event. These are the instances of price discrimination. All customers pay the maximum they are willing to pay. It means the firm entirely knows that Jacob can pay maximum $7, Jaden can pay $10, and I can pay $25 for maximum. Therefore, the customer surplus will fall zero because customers cannot gain benefit from their maximum price. Should remember this. This is summary map expressed by Venn diagram. The common important point is in the black box. You must know how to draw graphs of perfect competition, monopolist competition, and oligopoly. And second, analyze the payoff matrix. Third, understand the exact definition of the terms. This was goal of today's lecture. Then let's move to practice questions. Due to time constraint, I will directly skip to the answer. You have to draw the two graphs here, one for general market and one for individual firm. For example, price, quantity, demand, supply equilibrium. And there should be MC, ABC, ATC, and because the firm is earning a positive economic profit, then P has to be greater than ATC, right? So it should be P, and in perfectly competitive market, P equals to average revenue, it equals to marginal revenue. And it is also equals to demand faced by individual firms. So the amount of profit is P minus ATC multiplied by Q quantity. So this shade is short-term profit. Then let's just assume that because demand rose someone, they are earning profit. Demand rose. This is the case when the demand rose, right? Then, because many firms notice that, wow, this industry can make us more benefit, then there were entry to the market. Entry is the keyword. More firms will enter to the market, therefore supply will increase. Supply will increase. Therefore, this is equilibrium, new equilibrium. Therefore, equilibrium moves this point from this point, right? Then the price, once that was increased, decreases again, and it intersects with minimum ATC. This is price, and this is ATC. Therefore, profit is how much? Always zero in the long run. Great. Then let's move to next equation. That's about pay of matrix. Then let's use circle and triangle again. A for circle, B for triangle. If A selects advertise, then B has to choose advertise or no advertise. This one brings more benefit than this one, right? Therefore, triangle for this. And if A chooses no advertise, B also has to choose no advertise because 800 is greater than this one. Therefore, triangle for this. Then let's look at the case of A. If B chooses advertise, then A will choose advertise because it brings $1,000. Wow. And if B chooses no advertise, then A will choose also advertise because it brings greater benefit than 700. Then in which market does payout happens? Oligopoly. And dominance strange is like a bingo. Which has made a bingo? Yeah, A advertise has made a circle bingo, right? Therefore, dominance strange is A to advertise. Nash equilibrium is which both triangle and circle coexist. Therefore, this one is Nash equilibrium. Therefore, Nash equilibrium is both A and B to advertise. This is end of today's lecture and thank you so much for listening. Please don't forget to subscribe and press like button if you feel this lecture was helpful. See you soon.